Welcome back to another video, guys. So I have a lot to do in today's video because I've got to start stripping apart the front end of the RX-7. So for you guys that don't know anything about what's going on, I did post up a different video telling you guys what new modifications that I've just ordered. So the first one was a aftermarket bonnet with two subtle vents that sit at the top. The second modification was some OEM wider wings. They're going to be about 25mm wider than the original ones. And then just to finish it off, I've ordered some 2x2 twill carbon fibre arch covers which fit from the engine bay point of view. I've had an update with the 2x2 twill carbon fibre covers. They've actually been made and shipped from Thailand, so I should see those in the next few weeks. So I'll get a separate video up on the channel reviewing what I think of those because I've never seen a set in my life. I've not had an update yet from Concept 7 regarding the bonnet and wings, but I'm not going to hassle Martin because I know he's a very busy guy. I'm pretty sure he will get back to me soon. But yeah, today's video is basically going to be prepping the front end of the car. So when I do receive these new modifications, I've already got the car stripped and I can get on with the next video for you guys to keep following. So let's waste no time, let's get this car up in the air, get it secured on axle stands and begin to remove the bonnet first. Right, so the car is now in position where I kind of need it. I'm hoping that's going to be okay. That was hard work, I'm not going to lie, to try and move that bloody thing on its own. There's a couple of dips in the concrete which make it harder to move the car. Anyway, it's in position now, so what I'm going to do is pop the bonnet to show you guys something before I try to attempt to remove it on my own. So on stock RX7 FDs, normally when you pop the bonnet, you've got to use the standard rod that comes with the car to hold the bonnet up. But what I've got is these aftermarket carbon fibre dampers. So basically you lift the bonnet, you can let go just like a boot. So it goes up on its own, then it'll reach a point where it can't go up anymore. It basically locks out. The ones that I chose were these carbon fibre Greddy or Greddy Performance, whatever you want to call it. One's just down here. These are very smart looking. I purchased these from a mate a few years back and I'm pretty sure you can still buy these online, but I'm not entirely sure where to get them from anymore. But just bear in mind these are around £260 a pair, so yeah, not cheap, but they do add a really nice touch to your bonnet and the engine bay. As you can see, I've got a few nice little carbon fibre touches, so they just kind of match like all the stuff that I've gone for. But one of the main reasons why I did want these was because when I was at car shows and the winds picked up, the bonnet was always at risk of coming off of the rod, smacking back into the windscreen and potentially smashing it. So that was a main reason why I want them, but obviously the second reason was because they do look pretty cool. Problem that I've got now is these are only rated for stock bonnet weight, and with the extra two vents that's going to be moulded in, I'm a bit worried that the bonnet could be a bit too heavy for the load of these dampers, but I'm not going to know until basically I get the bonnet, put them on there and try it out. I'm really hoping that I can keep these. But if I can't keep the dampers that I've got, then I could sell them, and I'm pretty sure there is different styles out there which would hold a heavier load on them, or I can go back to the standard rod, which I don't really want to do, but you can get a really nice titanium one that will sit at the front here, but I'm hoping it doesn't come to that.
So next I need to remove these two little clips you can see here on the damper from each end. To remove these clips, I use this little hook tool to hook out the clip from the top and the bottom, and that's the clip here. And then I just repeat the process on the other side of the car. Once those clips are removed, you should be able to pop the damper out to the side and just lay them flat for the minute. Now we can remove the bottom clips, and then the whole thing should come away.
So that is now the carbon fibre dampers removed off of the bonnet. However, I've still got the fixings that attach to the bottom and the top. So I've got one here just onto the wing, and then slightly over to this side you can see there's another fixing just about there on the bonnet. I apologise for the darkness in here, but it's absolutely pissing it down with rain outside that door and it keeps blowing my door down. So what I'm going to do now is get a spanner on those, remove those, and then I'm going to put those into storage with the dampers, and then we can get those back out when we get the new bonnet and the wings to reattach, and fingers crossed everything will work okay. Once I remove these, next up is going to be trying to remove this bonnet on my own, which I'm really not looking forward to doing. So now we've got the bonnet completely removed, the next job to do is to jack the car up in the air and get these two front wheels off.
Now at this point of the day, it was an absolute nightmare to try and get that jack underneath of the car. You can see I was struggling there to try and get it underneath, but what I have to do is put the car into a bit of wood first, and then I can get the jack to where I need it.
So the reason you're in the dark in today's video is because of this. Look at it. Fucking ridiculous. Hailstones, high winds, heavy rain, you name it, I think it's happened today. You can see I'm absolutely boiling, I'm red hot in the face. I've had this door down with the heating on, trying to muck around getting this RX-7 up in the air. Where I've lowered it a little bit more, it's made it 10 times harder to try and get this up in the air. I'm going to leave the other arch because when we get the new ones, I think it'd be good to see the difference in width. So you can see how loud that is. It's fucking madness. So if you're wondering why the hell I'm videoing in the dark now, that's because I've got no electric and lighting in my unit, because the thunder and lightning has just completely taken that out, and I've just tried flicking the main switch back on and off, but there's nothing. So I think I'm gonna have to come back down here tomorrow. The only thing I've got to hand is that pissy little LED light in the background that you can see, and my other foam light, which I've got to hand here. I'm just gonna flip the camera around a minute. So this is what we've got. Basically, I can't see much. The next job I was going to do was to start removing that arch liner here, but I'm not going to do that. It's just too dangerous to work down here in the dark. So I'm going to get the hell out of here now, because if I keep flicking this phone light around, I'll probably end up seeing Samara out of the ring or something. Then I will be running out of this place like a girl.
And this rain just wouldn't stop.
God, you want to see the roads flooded? I mean, just come out of my unit, look at this. Yeah, he's like, no, I'm going. Don't fucking blame you. Right, let's see how today goes. First stop, Halfords. That's the one. Right, that's the trolley jack done. So now let's get down to the unit and see if we've got any lighting today. Get down here and it's bloody raining again. Right, do we have light? Yeah, we've got light again. Go for that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is jack up the car to make sure it's all secured on the axle stand, and then I'm going to start removing the plastic arch liners. So that's the car now secured on axle stands, as you can see just here. I've had to shut my door down again because the wind and the rain's picked up, just like yesterday. It started off a nice day, but now it's just turned to shit yet again. So I'm gonna have to keep opening and shutting my door. But yeah, like I said, the car's now on axle stands, so the next job is going to be removing this plastic arch liner. So now I've got the driver's side wheel arch completely removed. You can see how much more all of this wiring loom, etc., is now exposed to where the tyres would be sort of near this top area. So I may still need to use part of that arch liner just to cover up that. So the main concern, which I'm concentrating on, is all of these relays that's currently sat here. You can see previously that's not supposed to be there, this bracket. And I've kind of shoved that out of the way so I could make the air filters fit in, because I've got twin turbo set up on here at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to push that forward, and then when I get the new carbon fibre covers, that's what I'm going to be concentrating on, getting all of this area completely sealed off. So yeah, still lots to do, but it'd be good to get this prepped as much as possible now, and then when I get the covers to hand, we can have a look. So what I'm going to do now is pop round to the passenger side and start removing that arch liner too. So that's now the arch liners both removed. Next job, lunch break. So the next thing I need to do is start removing the front bumper. Now to do that, I need to remove that top carbon fibre cooling panel first, because there's some bolts underneath of that I need to get to. Then I need to remove 3 nuts from each side of the bumper. which is buried in between the pop-up headlights and the bumper itself. So I need to lift the lights up to get to those nuts. Once you get those out, I can then go underneath of the car to remove some bits from under there, including the under tray. And then I need to come back to disconnect the side lights and the fog lights, then the bumper should be able to come away.
First, I need to remove the 4 M8 bolts that's holding on my cooling panel. Now I need to manually adjust the pop-up headlights to lift them up. Now if you come round into the driver's arch, you will see there are 3 studs coming off of the bumper with M10 nuts. We need to remove all 3 of those. I just literally remembered I do need to remove the pop-up headlight covers and the surrounds, because you need to get your hands in this gap here to remove the top nut. Basically this bumper's got studs on it with 3 nuts holding it on, which is what clamps this together. And if you go up into the arch, you can get to the top one, but it's a bit of a faff. I don't really mind taking this apart, it's not very hard. But the bottom 2 I can do from inside of the arch. The top one is just easier from this end. I am going to remove this anyway because I don't want to risk getting any damage to the covers when I'm fitting the new wings, so it makes sense just to remove them. So to do this, you just need to simply remove these 2 here, these 2 on this side. That removes the surround. And to remove the pop-up headlight cover, you simply just undo 2 screws from the top and then 2 screws from the back, and then this lifts off because it's got like slots basically. So let's do that next, and then I can move on to removing those nuts from the studs on both sides of the bumper. Here are the 2 screws at the front. Once the headlights flip back down, there's the 2 screws at the back. So now the pop-up headlight cover and surround is removed, you can now see how easy it is to get to this top nut that I was talking about. So I can pretty much get my hands there now. I just need to crack off that nut with a 10mm, and then you can see where I've left the ratchet in with the other 2. So that's where the 3 nuts are located, and that's how much easier it is if you do remove all of that. You can do this without doing this stuff, but like I said, I don't want to risk scratching anything, so it just makes sense to remove everything from this whole entire front end. So now we're going to move back over to this side and do exactly the same with what I just did, and then hopefully I can get underneath the car to start removing the next parts. So next I need to get underneath of the car now, just to remove a couple of like screws and cable ties, etc. And then this bumper should be ready to come off. Right, so we're making some progress now. So I've got the pop-up headlights removed, the front bumper, the under tray side of stuff, the inner arch liners, and next I need to remove the 2 side wings. But like I said earlier, I'm not going to remove the passenger side one because I want to see the difference when I get the new wider one on the driver's side, and we can see the difference. But what I am going to do is attempt to remove this driver's one now. I've never done this before, so I need to take a little look to see where the fixings are. And I've also got the problem, like I said earlier on in the video, of trying to remove one of the pieces of the side skirts that's attached to the wing before I can remove it. So this is going to be my next challenge. The other thing that's just happened in my unit again is all of my electric's just gone, and I don't know why. Literally absolutely nothing again. So I don't know why the hell that keeps doing that over these last few days. But before I have a little look at these fixings, I'm just going to quickly show you guys this piece of side skirt that I was talking about. Apologies for it being dark again because of the no lights. This is what needs debonding. There's tiger seal behind here, so I need to find a safe way to try and not damage the paint. I don't really know how I'm going to do this yet, to be honest. We also need to remove the side step that's attached to the side skirt. Once we get that off, I reckon there's some fixings underneath of this which holds the bottom of the wing in.
There's 3 bolts at the top. That was where one of the bolts were for the dampers for the hood. Another one here, and I did notice earlier when I was taking the 3 nuts off for the bumper, there's another just here which you can undo from the front, which is that one just there. So that would need removing. And then I imagine there's one if you open the door, or a couple maybe, which will be holding it in from that way. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a little look as I go along, and then hopefully the wing will come off. And then suddenly a huge gust of wind just did this. Sake.
If I'm being honest, loving you the hardest thing to do, so I keep to myself. I feel like I'm falling in and out of consciousness, yeah.
Now I've removed that piece of side skirt, you can see where the 2 bolts are underneath. So I need to remove this one here and this one here.
Toxic, can we stay on topic? I feel like we lost it, feel like we lost it.
Then I took a look inside of the door area to see if there was any other bolts, which there was. There was one hidden there at the top.
Test my mind racing. What else I have to do? Gotta praise want you. I only want you. Yeah. I only want you. I only want you.
Then I came back to the front of the car and realised there was one more M10 bolt hidden just here. The only bolts now remaining is these 2 bolts here on top of the wing, then it should come away.
Pull me closer. Pull me closer.
And then I cleaned certain parts of the car before calling it a day.
Well, I finally got the car to where I want it today, which I'm very pleased about. It's not been too bad, to be honest, getting that last bit off. It was a lot more easier than I thought, thank God. But the car is now prepped to where I want it. We're just waiting now for the new items to arrive in the post. Once I get those, I can then put some reviews up of what I think of each item individually, and I'm going to do another part to this video with me fitting the stuff to the car, and then you guys can start seeing what the new look is going to look like. So thank you so much for watching today. Keep an eye on that channel, there's loads more yet to come. Subscribe if you haven't yet already, and that's it for me today. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I'm about to go and get a Chinese because I'm absolutely starving. Peace out.